Finally, a video that really showcases which one of these products is better. So let's get this video rolling. Originally, I bought this NOCO GB150 product, thinking that was going to be the one that I was going to be most happiest with. And here's the size of it. It's got a lot of battery capacity in there, so it's quite large. And then I'm going to compare it against this Audew device, which is half the battery capacity, and it actually looks like so. And in this test, instead of putting it on a vehicle and trying to see how well it cranks over there, we're going to actually hook it up to a Harbor Freight battery tester. So I've got both negatives for the battery packs going to the negative of the battery tester, and then both positives connecting on the battery tester. At the bottom, there is a switch here that engages a load resistor inside, and it allows you to then determine the voltage dropping across your starter or your load resistor, and then inside of the colors, the green color will tell you how many cold cranking amps we're seeing there. So that's kind of what that looks like. So the reason why I'm hooking up both battery packs right now, they're not enabled with any power coming out of them, but it's just going to make the video a little bit faster. And so let's get this a test started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to the Audew, and I just got this one and did a little test before. It's down to 66%. I believe the test is still going to run fairly decent. So what I'm going to do is, as we see right now, the gauge on the battery tester is showing 0 volts over here. Also, this little handy-dandy voltage readout on the NOCO is showing 0 volts. So what I'm going to do is come over to the side of this Audew box and push in the boost button. And you'll hear a click, a relay turning on. First thing that we notice is we're outputting 15 volts, not 12 volts. So it's a little higher than normal. We also notice that on the gauge, we're on the high side. So what that means is when we transfer power into this resistor, we're going to be hitting it with a little more power potential or voltage potential. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to flip the switch up. The Audew shut off. Here, let me turn it back on. It stays on for a few seconds and then it shuts off. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to flip the switch here, and we're going to see where the current goes to. So, okay, the switch is on. We're up around 13 volts, well past 1,000 volts or 1,000 amps of cranking. So that performed very well. Also, we see that the digital readout dropped a little bit below 15 volts because we're losing capacity on the Audew box. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to disconnect the Audew from the load resistor or the battery tester, and now I'm going to power up the NOCO. So we're going to power up the NOCO, and it's trying to sense to see if there's a battery out there, but there's not. So in essence, we don't see any voltage here. So then we have to force the battery on the NOCO by holding this red exclamation button down. Now we're going to turn on the voltage, and it's coming out at 12 volts, not 15 volts, but that actually will put us at a little disadvantage. As we can see over here, we're riding around a little over 12 volts. So when we put the load on there with the NOCO, it's actually going to be dropping the power, or less cranking amps. As we push the switch, we'll see. So I'm going to come in here and put the load resistor in there, and notice we're getting out maybe 800 cranking amps. Also notice the voltage is dropping down to 11 volts, 11.4 actually, right there. So in essence, the Audew does a lot better job with putting instantaneous power into your car or starter. Also, during this study, I really wanted to go with the higher capacity 4,000 milliamp hour NOCO product. So what I decided to do is get two of these 2,000 milliamp products, and you can put them in parallel together if you really want to double up the cold cranking amps on your truck or vehicle that you're trying to start. And the two of the Audew boxes or products was about the same price or a little bit less than NOCO. So I'm going to be sending the NOCO back and keeping two of the Audew products. And I was pretty impressed with that and the results that I was able to show in this video. Hope you liked it, and good luck with your purchase.